and welcome to Painting with Petey. This is my first time on YouTube, and I'm going to show you a quick, easy little painting to give you sort of a teaser of what it's like to be a part of our Patreon. On Patreon, we do release 4 paintings a month where you can do a little bit more intense paintings than what we're going to be doing here today. But today, I'm going to be showing you a beach sunset. So here I have a 9x12 painting or canvas that's already pre-primed, so you can get these in a pack or a single at Walmart or your local painting supply store. And then we only have 4 colors today. So we've got blue, yellow, black, and white. You also might hear them cadmium yellow, ultramarine blue, titanium white, and ivory black, depending on what kind of paint you're using, okay? Also on our Patreon, we have a list of instructions and supplies for you to order. So let's go ahead and get cracking on this and let's enjoy the beach scene. So first tools first, we're gonna do a 3/4 inch flat paintbrush. I'm going for teal. Now, I'm going to do a teal gradient. You could do whatever gradient you want, okay? So if you want to do a pink theme, a purple theme, you can do whatever you want. I really love teal, so I'm going to be doing that. So I'm doing a teal into a yellow gradient, okay? So remember, this is your world. You can do whatever you want. You're in PD's Positivity Corner. As long as you're staying positive, you're good. So have fun and give yourself grace and do whatever colors you want. So I'm going to come in here. I'm using my 3/4 inch flat. I'm going to do some blue and some yellow. I'm going to mix up a healthy portion of this because I'm going to need to cover the top and the bottom portion. We're going to be kind of sandwiching our colors today. You'll know what I'm meaning here in just a second. So I'm going to mix up the darkest color that I want. So I'm going to do just a skosh darker here, adding a little bit more blue, a little bit more yellow. Now, if you want this a little more green, I'd add more yellow to it, but this is going to be a really nice base, okay? Now, I'm going to come to my canvas. Now, we're going to be doing a gradient from dark to light and then back to dark. So we're going to actually be able to sandwich our colors together. Now, we're going to be working on a gradient. So that means that we want to make sure that we're painting from side to side, giving that beautiful, nice, smooth look. Make sure you're painting your edges so you can sell it for lots of money on eBay later, okay? So make sure you're just getting those covered. And maybe if you're going to frame it, maybe you don't need to paint your edges. But I always like to paint mine. And I'm just gonna do about 1.5 inches down. It's okay if you go a little bit further because we're gonna bring colors down to our halfway mark here eventually. We're gonna have about 3 colors. So if you're thinking about working about that in sections, that's gonna put you about halfway, okay? So then I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna do the same thing I did to the top because it's just gonna be a mirror, okay? So I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to just slap this in, basically doing the same thing I did on the top, pulling and painting, making sure I'm going from edge to edge because that practice is going to give us a nice gradient later on. Instead of doing short, choppy paintbrush strokes, I'm going to go from edge to edge to give that nice, smooth effect that we want. This seems to be the part that people struggle with the most, is getting that nice, smooth gradient. And it's easy to do if you can just train yourself to not panic. This is not PD's Panic Corner. And just tell yourself that it's okay and you can trust your brush strokes. A lot of painting, I actually had this conversation with a student the other day. A lot about painting is building trust with yourself, trusting your motor skills, trusting your decisions. So it's a really beautiful way to get to know yourself a little bit better. So this is what we're going to start with, and then we're going to go a little bit lighter. So I'm going to start with my teal here, and I'm going to take a section of it away because I'm not going to use all of it. I'm going to add some yellow to it because I want it more green, a little bit more white. Perfect. There we go. And I want it a little bit more yellow and even a little bit more white. Just punching that up. I want more of a contrast between these two. I feel good about that. Now, I'm not waiting until this is dry. I'm just getting in here and I'm getting dirty with it, okay? So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do this back and forth here. I'm gonna get these edges. We want to paint wet on wet, which is called painting a la prima, okay? And I'm gonna come in here. Perfect. Now, before I get up here to my top line, what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna wanna turn my paintbrush so it's the fat width vertical. And I'm gonna come in here wet on wet, and I'm just gonna go back and forth. Just massage that line. Don't move up into your teal, don't move down into your green. And you're just going to be able to blend that really beautifully and really seamlessly by just going back and forth. So leave that the way it is, get your edges, Pull that up where it needs to be, okay? And what we do the top, we're gonna do the bottom, okay? So I'm gonna come in here, dippy dippy. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this like so. It's okay if you got a little close on the bottom there, that's all right. Okay, I'm gonna come in here and over here, always making sure I'm getting those edges the way I'm painting it on the front. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna massage this line here. Again, this is painting wet on wet. It's called painting alla prima. You paint quickly to get these gradients because you want them to be wet. You don't want these layers to be dry. Okay, so you're doing this part, going back and forth like so. Okay, oops, I got down a little bit too much on my teal. That's okay, we can blend her out. Bless and release. There's worse things in life that happen to us. Okay, we're gonna do our final color. So I'm gonna wash our paintbrush off really well because it's gonna be our brightest color. So then we're gonna come in, wash it off really well. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna take some white and I'm gonna take some yellow because I'm going for a bright pastel yellow kind of sunset moment. And I am actually going to pull a little bit of that. I already pulled in there a little bit, but because I like to bring just a skosh of it in because it makes us all feel very homogeneous and it works together. If I just do a little touch of this and pull it in. Okay, so I like this color. I'm gonna roll with this color. Okay, now that we're on this third color here, I'm gonna go ahead and just fill that whole middle section in. Super easy. Look at how bright and happy that is. This is a beach sunset, sweet friends. We want that bright, warm, tan color coming in here, bright yellow. Perfect. And we're coming in. I'm just gonna get real snuggy to that line, but I'm not going ahead and blending it yet. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get snuggy down here, not blending it yet. And I'm gonna get my edges, pulling them up to where they need to be. Okay, sweet friends, and this is where we're gonna start to blend it, okay? We're gonna come in, again, long ways. We don't wanna make it skinny this way. We're committing to our canvas this way, okay? And we're gonna come in, we're gonna go ahead and work this in, back to forth, staying on that gradient. Staying on that gradient, just going back and forth, sweet friends. Massaging it in. You might notice maybe your green is a little bit dry. That's okay. Again, you're just massaging this in. Nice and light. See how nice that gradient is? Okay, get those edges. Get this edge. Now, before I get down in here, I'm actually gonna wash my paintbrush off because I want to be nice and clean and have a good start. We want to set it up for success. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm just going to go pull it back and forth. Might need a little bit more paint on my paintbrush. I was being a little wimpy about that, and that's okay. I'd much rather have not enough paint than too much paint because it's easier to correct if you don't have enough paint. It's really hard to correct if you have too much paint loaded onto your paintbrush and you're screaming with your paint, right? Okay, so this is really dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull. This is why I work fast when I work in gradients, is so that I can get the gradient effect that I'm going for. There we go. See how just that little bit of moisture just helped that out so much here. And I'm just pulling that in back and forth. See, I'm going from edge to edge. I'm not starting here. I'm not going like this. I'm not going like this. I'm going from edge to edge. And I'm just massaging and working that in. Really beautiful. There we go. Okay, don't overwork it. Go ahead and get that little bit off there. Just gonna pull this here. Perfect. Awesome, so this is gonna be our gradient. This is gonna be the start to our sunset. So this is gonna be a good base for us to work with. And I want you to keep in mind, what do you want this to be? Do you want a beach to go all the way across? Can we be doing a reflection point here? So do you want to go all the way across? Do you want your beach just come halfway in? This is your world. You can do whatever you want. So be thinking about how you want your beach to look, because it's going to dramatically affect where you're going to put your sun. So if you put your sun setting over here, it's going to totally change the look of your painting, especially if you don't have an island here or a stretch of land here. I mean, really basic. And I'm just going to do my sun right in the center. And I'm also going to do my island coming off to the side, and I'm going to have it slowly dissipate, okay? So I am just going to stick straight to the center, but again, you can have as much creativity with this as you want, as big of a sun or as small a sun as you want, and you can have it on the right, left, or in the center, wherever you want it, okay? So we're gonna come in here. This is easy. We're gonna come in, and I'm just gonna do some white. The tiniest bit of yellow, because I don't ever like using just straight white. And I like to just to have a little bit of color to it. And it's not much, it's hardly any. Honestly, I could have used straight white, but adding a little bit of color in there makes my heart happy, and that's what matters. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here, still using my 1/4 inch flat. This is a pretty easy brush to have a lot of control, especially when we're talking about doing circles, okay? So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna find my halfway point. That's where my halfway point is gonna be, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and slap a sun in there by just doing a little moment like that, okay? And I'm gonna fill that bad boy in. Nice and light and seamless like this. Okay, see, I'm just doing a half circle, not overthinking it, just putting that in there, okay? Now, I'm still using a 3/4 inch flat. So I'm gonna let that kind of dry a little bit. I'm gonna come in with my flat side and make sure my bristles are horizontal. And I'm gonna come in, and again, we don't have too much paint loaded onto our paintbrush. We have just enough to be able to tell the story, okay? So I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna dance this back and forth. I'll let some of that yellow shine through. I don't wanna make thick lines. And I'm gonna come, I'm just dancing this. We're just dancing it back and forth. Ever so light, like so. And you can carry it as low or as far as you want. Honestly, I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom because my heart's telling me to. Always follow the art heart. Your art heart will never lead you astray, sweet friends. Okay. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll let my sun dry a little bit. I did pull, so as you're carrying this up, be careful, because if you see here, I did carry some of that teal up into here. That is not the end of the world. It actually makes it look more realistic that way, okay? So I'm gonna come in here, let my sun dry. While my sun is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and put my beach in, okay? So I'm gonna start with my 1/4 inch flat. I'm just going in a straight black. That's all I'm using. So I'm gonna come in, this painting's pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and just use some black here. Okay, my beach is gonna come out to here. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in here, like so. My beach is gonna end there. So I'm gonna come in, and you can have as thick of a beach as you want, in terms of hills, or as thin as you want. And I'm just gonna come down like so, put a little squiggle in my wiggle, pulling it that way. Go ahead and fill this guy in. We'll probably have to put another layer on him after a bit because my yellow isn't all the way dry, and that's okay. And we're just filling this in. If you wanted, you could use blue if you wanted instead. If you don't want to use just straight black. Okay. Then, because this is a reflection, sweet friends, we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of reflection in there. So again, just straight black. I'm holding my brush so it is horizontal, okay? And I'm gonna come in here, painting from the back end of my paintbrush so it's nice and loose. We're not stress painting at the front of our paintbrush. We're relaxed, we're enjoying ourselves. We're just gonna come in here and lightly drag this across, lightly drag back. Now remember, this is gonna be thicker up here and thinner up here. So I wanna make sure to follow that by being a little bit thicker up here. See, I'm gonna gradient this down because this is gonna be a reflection of my island. So we're just gonna work this in like so. Once I feel good about that, sweet friends, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna paint one of my favorite things to paint when I'm just doing these fun, relaxing little paintings. And I'm gonna do my palm tree. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm just like washing my paintbrush off in between. Going in with straight black again. Dippy dippy, same brush. And I'm just gonna have a palm tree come here. So I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna plant my palm tree and it's gonna grow like so. Okay. Well, the reason why I like to paint those coming from the ground instead of up at the top is I don't like to have a harsh, like thick top where my paint then runs out by the time it comes out to the bottom. I want to have a nice sturdy base, and then my paint can dissipate as I get closer to the top, okay? Always paint your trees the way they grow in nature. They grow from the ground up. That's where we're gonna paint them. We're gonna paint our trunk going from the trunk, going from the ground up, and then we're gonna paint our branches out from there. So, and now I'm going to figure out where my palms are gonna go. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now I'm gonna ask a silly question because it matters. Where do leaves grow from? They grow from the palm or from the branch. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start. We're gonna come from the branch. We're gonna pull this coming out. You could use a number 2 round paintbrush for this if you wanted, if you find this to be a little bit stressful or a little bit more committal than what you would like. And you're just gonna come in. We do to one side, we have to do the other, nice and fluffy. These are why they're my favorite. They're just so fun. And they're just easy, and it's easy to make them look good. So then I'm gonna do this to all of my palms. And you can have as many or as few leaves as you want coming off your palms. I just like this amount. Maybe I'll add another one at the end. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. The thing about painting is you can kind of see how you're feeling as you're going. What I do one side, I do the other, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm gonna do another palm coming up right there because I want to. So I'm gonna pull another one here. And the sound effects do help. I always joke with my students. Don't know why. Sound effects, I always do in my studio, in my classes. Okay, then you can come in, put another layer on your beach if you would like to thicken that up. Didn't quite get enough paint on my paintbrush. I'm gonna come in here and just boop, pull this in, making this darker, really making this come to life by just bringing this all together. Pulling this guy out. And then, you think I was gonna forget about my palm tree? Absolutely not. I'm gonna come in here, and it can kind of be weird to think about your palm tree being reversed down. So just kind of try to just make that same line-ish, okay? And then I'm just gonna come in here, and I'm just gonna make this up a little bit. So maybe it comes like this, maybe it comes like this. No one's going to bring a ruler to your painting and make sure that it matches exactly. Okay, if they do, those aren't your people. So then I'm just gonna come in here and kind of mess up what I like to call, I don't want it to be so perfect. So my type A babies like to have their lines perfect, but out in the world, not in the water especially, it's not gonna be that way. It's gonna be messed up. You're gonna have some, I shouldn't even say messed up, it's just you're gonna have some longer reflections and some shorter reflections, and that's what makes this look realistic. Just letting your water flow and just dancing that paintbrush and just kind of pulling it back and forth, dancing with it, letting the water do its thing. And always going back and forth this way. Don't go up and down. It's gonna be really hard because you're gonna really want to. Perfect. And then what you can do too, is you can go back to your 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch square if you want. And if you want to punch up your sun a little bit, you can. I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna brighten him a bit. I did just go in with straight white. You don't have to. If you like kind of that softer look that I have going on, you do not have to come in and do this. But yeah, sweet friends, this is a very easy tutorial on a beach sunset. This is a very small little teaser taster about what we do in our Patreon class. But if you joined us for this class, I hope that you were able to relax, do something fun. I hope you can feel the breeze in your hair as you paint this and feel the sunshine kissing your cheeks. So thank you so much. We'd love to see you on Patreon. If not, we hope that you enjoy this and we hope you're along for the ride.